All right, Ibrahim, welcome back to the show. You told me you had some more questions about business. Shoot your shot and see what I can help you out with today.
I just wanted your opinion on something that what's better if you sell your product in the best quality and highest price, or sell your product as the standard quality and break the market's price. What's the best in both of these scenarios?
That's a wonderful question. And I can't just give you a right and wrong answer to it. I'm going to break it down to you, but at the end of the day, you're going to understand what the right answer is. I just can't tell you that's the right answer. All right. Now, if you look at it two ways, nowadays you see all of these gurus telling you, oh, don't negotiate. You were selling yourself short. Don't negotiate. If they want a cheaper price, well, they can get cheaper work done. Right? If you go from that point of view, and you do market yourself higher, right? Another guru said, if 60% of the people are not turned away by my product, then I'm selling too cheap. Going towards the same school of thought, where you do less work and get paid more money, right? If you're a service business, you do less jobs, you charge more per job. If you are a asset-based business where you're selling products, you're going to be selling less products, having a higher margin in each of them. If you look at it from that point of view, I would say to be successful, you will have to sell higher price, less items, if that's the school of thought you follow. I'm a little bit more of a religious guy. Making money is my religion. I did some research. I want to get to the roots of it all. Who's the richest guy in the world? For right now, it's Elon Musk. All right. There's a few other heavy hitters up there, there's Bill Gates, there's Jeff Bezos, all the people that own multinational companies, they're the richest people. If you go in history, this is Western history that I learned it in, This is not Arabian, this is not South Asian, this is in Western history. The richest man on earth was Musa Mancha. If I am not wrong, he was the king of a small country in Africa named Mali, where they mined salt, or as they would call it, white gold. He sold that, and the amount of money he made, he was the richest man on earth. Right now, we have Jeff Bezos, we have Elon Musk. They have not gone to his level yet. And this was a few hundred years back. When he went for pilgrimage, he donated so much gold to the poor people that he flooded the market, and gold was invaluable. The first few people that got it, they traded it in, they got a lot of money, and then after everybody had it, it had no value. Over time, it just trickled back into the hands of the rich, and that took about, I think, 5 to 7 years for the market to correct itself back, or get back to the right side of things. That's from a guy that was there for a moment. And I did some more research. I was listening to one of the scholars, and he gave a breakdown of one of the companions of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. He was the 10th companion. His name was Abdul Rahman. He broke down the assets that he had left behind that were to be divvied up between his wives and his kids and his dependents. Just the cash equivalent or cash on hand or things that are easily convertible to cash, which will stick under current assets, were so much, just the gold plates and bricks were so much that they ran out of saws to cut them. Can you imagine the level of rich, the level of wealth? This is not yet getting to the lands here. I did a little bit of research, and on average people keep about 5% of their net worth in liquid assets or liquidable assets that they can turn to assets as soon as possible without much hardship. It could be stocks, it could be bonds, it could be cash in a bank account, it could be gold, it can be anything that you can quickly turn into cash. They keep about 5% of that, and they had a tracked how much he had left behind that was going to be divvied up front. So his current assets. So at that time I calculated, I put it into Excel, how many kilos of gold and how many pounds of gold and what the amount of animals that he left behind that were to be sold in the next herd. And then I put that as 5%, and I put it, and then I took from that time to now the devaluation of money, and I put that in as well. And what it gave me was that Elon Musk, being the richest person in the world right now, it was at about 7 or 8% of what Hazrat Abdul Rahman bin Auf was 1500 years ago. They didn't have social media like we do. They didn't have all these amazing essentials like myself, and I can't live without, which I do almost all of my work on. And back in that day, they were able to reach such limits. His goal or his saying was, if you buy something and you have a buyer, and you're selling it, you get a buyer where you are making even just 1% or even 1 paisa or $1 or 1 cent, sell it. So contrary to what I had initially, the school of thought that I had initially given, the ones from the gurus nowadays compared to the richest people in history, the richest people in history say high volume, low margin. Gurus nowadays are telling you high margin, low volume. So one of my businesses, the petrol pump or the gas station, you want to call it. I tried it both ways. I tried low margin, high volume. I tried high margin, low volume. And when I was doing the high margin, low volume, I'll be honest with you, there were some days that I got scared whether I was able to pay my bills or not. Then I went right back to high volume, low margin. It took me almost a year and a half to get it back to 80% of what it was beforehand. And alhamdulillah, I'm making good money, but my personal experience, high volume, low margin. And let me, I didn't have a chance to speak to the guy 1500 years ago. So, testing on my little bit of knowledge that I have, what it says is, not everybody has to agree with this, but these are my personal opinions from my personal experience. As I go into business, what I'm doing is I'm helping people, okay? A little bit on the religious side, my point is, if I'm gonna help people, it's gonna come back to me. Either God's gonna help me or karma's gonna come back and hit me with a positive. So for example, when there's a transport business, yes, you charge people a ticket to go from one city to another, but you're helping them get from one city to another. Yes, you're making a profit, but that doesn't mean that's not a good deed. Same thing, you come to my gas station, fill up your car, and you go. People come every 2 days, 3 days, if they get empty, they come right back. There's people that have been coming there for more than 20 years. There's people that have been coming in there for longer than I've been alive. So from that point of view, I think right now I'm seeing 500 people a day, but I'll be seeing 600 people or 700 people a day. When I'm helping 700 people on a daily basis, tell me the good karma. How far is that gonna go? If we feel, when we're driving on the road, we let somebody go in front of us, we're like, oh, that's our good deed of the day. Good job. What if we're doing 700 good deeds in a day? There's different school of thoughts. You can take a look at it as you can do high volume, low margin. That is now my preference. Similarly on YouTube, it has a very low pay-per-view rate. Compared to if I was to do, this meeting. If somebody watches this meeting and we'll make 1,000 or 10th or 100th of a penny or something, and say if somebody was to take my time, an hour of my time is at least like $400. So from that point of view, going with a lower margin but higher volume, at least by putting these on YouTube, more people will be able to see them, be able to help more people. Did that somewhat answer your question? Does it give you more questions? Did I confuse you at all?
No, you didn't confuse me at all, but I would like to put my perspective as well. It's that when you have a startup and you're just starting with your business, I think what you should do is break the market value of a product. You offer the product with the minimum price possible. Like, for example, if you're selling a pair of shoes and its price on the market...
Now, is it a Yeezy or a Nike or a non-brand?
let's say non-brand.
Okay.
It has variable prices, different prices on different brands. Let's say most of the brands are selling it for, let's say, $200, $220.
No, so is it branded or is it not a brand?
It is not a brand. I'm just giving an example.
So I understand what you're saying, but I'm gonna stop you here and break it down a little bit. Now, when you're looking at different products, whether you see if the low margin, high volume, or low volume, high margin approach works, you will notice you gotta take into account: is this a luxury product or is this a necessity product?
It is a necessity product.
So on necessity products, you wanna aim for the as low as possible price, exactly to the point that you were going. However, say if it's a Yeezy, that's not a necessity product. If it's a $200 shoes, that's not a necessity product. If it's a $10 shoe, yeah, people need that. You know, they're at work all day long, their shoes get worn out, they need new shoes. And they cannot afford to buy $200 shoes. So the $10 shoes are amazing for them. If you're selling a shoes just like the $200 shoes, but for $10, it can't be just like the $200 shoes. You know, that's too big of a difference. There's going to be more money that goes into making of the quality of that $200 shoe that not everybody can afford. Those luxury products, yeah, that's well and good to sell at a high margin, low volume. Now, if I was to open a new watch store, right, I cannot sell less than the competition. I'll probably sell it more expensive than the other guy because I want to make more money on it. I know this is a rare. I know that people are willing to pay over for it because it's a luxury product. They want it. They don't need it, they want it. For example, PlayStation 5 came out. Do you need a PlayStation 5?
Yes, I do, matter of fact.
Will you die if you don't have a PlayStation 5?
No, I won't, probably.
So you don't need a PlayStation 5. So when PlayStation 5 came out, its price was around $500. It's $450 or $500. For 3 years, it was selling for over the price that it was selling out for. Not by Sony, by people that are buying it and reselling it on the market. $300 more, $400 more. It was selling up to $1,000. Enjoy it. They're willing to pay more for it. It's a perfect example of even though that it's able to have more margin. So it's a PlayStation. PlayStation didn't put enough margin in, so people put the margin in there for themselves. iPhones, if you were to bring iPhones to Pakistan, you would have more margin because there's not enough available here. And people that need a phone will not buy an iPhone. People that want an iPhone will buy an iPhone. It's not cheap. That's another thought process that you want to take into account. When you're going to do high margin, low volume, you'll be looking at luxury things that people want to spend more for. When you're looking at necessities, you're going to want to do the lower margin, higher volume, so you can cater to more people's needs.
I'll take your perspective into consideration and I'll think about it more personally. But the ideal business plan in my mind is that first you start your business. Let's say someone else is selling the same product for $12, you sell it for $8, people automatically come to you. It's the same quality, same.
What if the cost is $11? Then what do you do?
But the cost, let's say the other business that is selling it for $12.
Cost is 11, your cost is 11. What do you do then?
I'll probably sell it for $11.22 or $11.50 just to break the market price. So the customers can save 50 cents or whatever a customer can save by buying product from you instead of someone else. They start to trust you. They see that other business is selling the same thing and this business is selling the same thing. And I can save, let's say, $2 or $5 from this business. Why not I go to this business every time I want to buy something? When you build the trust with customers, with people, with excellent customer service and great prices, then you have the opportunity to actually raise the price. Because when people actually trust you, they want your product. But if they don't trust you, you have to make a necessity for them. That is the ideal business model in my
I understand exactly what you're saying. I agree with you completely. And I really like the fact that you think about the people, you think about your customers, instead of just thinking about yourself.
Mm.
You have to realize without your customers, you don't have a business.
Exactly.
They're a part of your family. They're a part of your business family.
Mm.
Your employees are a part of your business family. Your customers are a part of your business family. So you have to take care of all of them. And I really, really like the fact that you keep the best interest of your customers in heart. And just profit is not the only thing on your mind. I have nothing against profit. I love to make money, and I hope you make more money than you can physically count, that you can keep track of. Inshallah.
Inshallah.
That is the right way to go. That's the way I went, and I want you to take the same way. If you need help with anything at all, I'm here. You can always reach out to me on Instagram. You can reach out to me on YouTube. Just you can comment. If anybody else has any questions at all, there's a question that you want us to discuss, put it in the comments. We'll get right on it. Sounds like a plan?
It does.
Appreciate you coming, bro.